Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel, and whatever platforms you're listening to this on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing if you already have. And if you have not, please do go ahead and subscribe. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place, and let's get into this podversation/reality chat. All right, guys, if you have been watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, as I have been watching it on demand, I caught the most recent episode that aired on Saturday night. And on this episode, Melody, she's having a little get together for Kimmy to celebrate the fact that she has succeeded in this first round of treatments for the breast cancer that was found last season, and as she prepares to go into surgery to remove the tumors and you know, everything else that may be in her body to just make sure that she is completely in the clear. The gang, the people that have been around, they constantly, because of Melody and Martell being divorced, have been divorced for a couple of years now, but still being around each other for the sake of the show and the cast, and also for co-parenting reasons. They, I feel, just intrude so much when it comes to the relationship that Martell and Melody once had. And I feel for Melody in that way. I know that some people, they don't see it for anyone that says anything about Melody in any way, even if it's not something that's negative, but it's just something that someone may see and they may call it out. Some people are just like windmilling for this woman on social media so much. And look, do what you do. But I'm not one of those people, but I will say I felt for Melody in this episode when I saw some of the things that were being said and done consistently by these different people. And it's like, I know this is a reality show and it's supposed to be unscripted, but is this in the script? Like, I really asked myself that for a moment. I'm like, is there a script of some sort? And even though it's not technically scripted where they have to learn lines and do it that way, but we know on reality shows, it's like, okay, you're going to meet with this person and that person at this restaurant on this day and time to discuss whatever the subject is and scene. And then they leave it up to them to discuss these different things and see where it goes. I'm wondering if there's something that is written literally where they have to discuss Melody and Martell's former marriage, and it's so cringeworthy and it's so uncomfortable for me to see it. I know that there are some people that feel that Melody is extremely standoffish and she can be a certain type of way, but in this episode, if people felt that way about her or feel that she is that way, I could understand if she is that way, why she would be. Because if I was in a relationship with a man that was just over and over and over again disrespecting me, cheating on me, having a child with someone else outside of the marriage while I'm married to them, and making themselves out to be the victim, and I have been working my butt off to make the relationship work, and not only make the relationship work, but to make the marriage union, which is a business, successful. So I'm working on all of these different things so the business of the household and the family will be successful, and all they're doing is tearing me down every chance they get. And every time I look and I finally get the courage and strength and move in my faith to get out of that situation, and I do it, and then people that I call friends, I think are friends, are constantly saying things that make me uncomfortable, that it's like you're trying to force me back into something that was so extremely toxic, I would question being around those people too. And so in this episode, I cannot stand Martell, okay? I've said this before and I'll say it again. I cannot stand his shiny head, his wing ears. He just looks like a Keebler elf to me. I cannot stand him. And he has done nothing but disrespect this woman. So it is so disingenuous to see him when they were in this place and she's getting ready to leave. He's like, well, let me walk you to your car. And she's like, I'm good. And he's like, no, just let me walk you to your car. Like, why are you acting like that? Like, acting as if she's being prideful and all he's trying to do is help her out. He has no intentions that are good. Anything that he does, there is a purpose and a motive behind it. And it's like he expects her to forget all of the negative things that he has said and done. Just on the freaking reunion, okay? Just on the reunion that happened some months ago, he was telling Stormy that she needs to retreat because she doesn't keep any friends. On that last season, he was telling Tiffany to watch out for Melody because she doesn't know how to be a friend. He has consistently tried to tear this woman down and make her look like the arch enemy to everyone that knows her so that they could see her in a different light. So this same woman that you spoke so negatively about, you wanted to go out of your way to walk her to her car. I don't care about the fact that they have 4 children together, because some people may say, well, that's the mother of his children. He's just trying to make sure that she's going to be okay. He doesn't care, because if he cared, he wouldn't have been slinging his ding-a-ling around town with Ariane and whoever else he was doing it with, because there were other people. He admitted it. Melody admitted it. I won't say admitted it, but said it. And Ariane even admitted it, even though she claimed that she was in a relationship with him. And so you didn't care about her well-being and her safety, because that's extremely unsafe to be sleeping around with other people and you're sleeping with your wife as well. That's extremely just low down and dirty and nasty and unsafe. Like, what if he brought a STD back to her? How do we know that he didn't? It's not their business to tell us that because of HIPAA and, health secrecy and privacy. I almost say secrecy, health, privacy, all of that different stuff. I get it. But how do we know that that didn't happen? God bless that he didn't bring anything that was of, life and death situation, because there are tons of STDs out there that are that way. But who knows if he didn't bring an STI back to her? I don't care. I don't care what people say about, safe sex, condoms, whatever. I don't believe, this is my personal opinion, just being beautifully honest. I don't believe that people who sleep around with other people and they are being sneaky about it, so it's not like a open situation or open relationship, which I don't believe in those either, but I'm just saying, if you're sneaking around being with other people, I don't believe that you are practicing safe sex. I don't. I just don't. And it's just not safe doing that anyway. But that's just, that's a whole, I won't say it's a whole other topic, but we can go off on a tangent about that, and I won't in this conversation. But what I'm saying is that Martell, he will never get his old life or ex-wife back. So the cast of Love and Marriage Huntsville, they really need to just cut it out and stop it. Again, I don't know if it's some unwritten script that they have to discuss it, because there was a scene after the party when, God bless her, but Kimmy and Maurice, they were sitting there discussing Martell and saying how he just really misses his wife and the life that he had when he was married. Yeah, it's always that way. You never miss your water until the well runs dry. That is an old saying for a reason, because there is nothing new under the sun. The grass is hardly ever greener on the other side. And my mom even has an old saying, you can't throw your candy in the sand and then expect to be able to put it back in your mouth. And what that basically is like, you've dirtied it, you've sullied it, it's no good anymore. And even if you were to rinse it under the water, like, why would you want to put that back in your mouth? You already threw it in the sand. You had it in your mouth. You dropped it in the sand. Sand is all over it. It's disgusting. You need to just throw it away and be done with it. So the fact that Martell is saying that he really just misses what he had, we know that he does. But that goes without saying. He doesn't have to say it. But it's really old at this point. This is how many seasons now since they have gotten divorced, and now we're still doing this? So the fact that you had at the party Tiffany and her husband, when Melody was greeting them goodnight, saying that she's about to leave, and Martell saying, well, I'm going to walk her. And Tiffany's like, you're going to walk her to the door, or you're going to walk her to the car door? And, and Melody had this look on her face, and I got it. I felt for her in that moment. And I'm like, I'm sure she just does not even want to have this conversation, let alone even be bothered with Martell. I'm quite sure she didn't even want to be around him, but it wasn't her party. So for the sake of Kimmy, she wanted to invite him. So she extended the invitation for Martell to come to the gathering, but she didn't want to be around him. I believe she didn't want to be around most of those people, but she put on the face for the sake of being there and trying to have a good time. And I don't know how she does it, because for me, I don't like being around people that I don't like, and I'm usually just not going to do it. I'd rather just forego the events and say, well, y'all have fun. I won't be there, because I'm not going to fight about who's going to show up and who's not. If you want to be there, then you be there. I don't have to be there, because I just would prefer not being around people that I don't like. And that's just how I've lived my life, even if it was a family member, okay? Because to me, family members are nothing but people. And you can love people really, really hard and care for them and want to do whatever you can for them, even if they are not a family member. So it shouldn't just be, well, because this is my family member, that's the way it's going to be. Because that, I believe, is just another manipulative tactic that people use to force people's hands to help them out when they need help. And it's just bull crap. It's just bull. So anyway, when Martell says to Tiffany and her husband, yeah, we're about to go, and he's laughing and they're laughing, Melody was pissed off by it, and I agreed with her. There was nothing funny about that. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it just this episode prior to this one where he was on a FaceTime call with Sheree? That's why I said that freaking so-called relationship is so fake. It's such a storyline. It's actually a few storylines, because it's storylines for Love and Marriage Huntsville and storylines for Real Housewives of Atlanta for Sheree. It's bull. It's not a real relationship. And if I were Sheree and I saw that, I don't know if they're so-called still together at this point in time, but if I were Sheree and I saw that airing on this most recent episode and saw how he's just saying how he really is missing what he had, and when he was out, when he crashed the dinner date of Chris Fletcher and his wife, and he's sitting there talking to them about his life. Such a narcissist. Some people will say, well, Chris invited him, so he gave him the floor. He's such a narcissist. Everything is about him. So he's talking to them about missing, being married and wanting to be married again. Not saying he wanted to be married to Sheree, because they asked him about Sheree and he was just fumbling and stumbling over his words and saying, well, yeah, she's a beautiful woman, He never just came out right and said, yeah, that's my lady. We're in a relationship. It's new. It's fresh. I don't really know where it's going to go, but we're just having fun right now and seeing where things may go. But yeah, that's my lady. He never just came out and said that, because he's really so delusional and such a narcissist that he really believes that he's right with everything. So he truly believes in his heart of hearts, if he has a heart. I say the word heart loosely. Believes that in some space and time, Melody is going to open the door for him to come back home. It's never going to happen. Just hang it up, dude. It's over. Not to quote the I Believe I Can Fly singer, but it is the song that he sang when a woman's fed up. There ain't nothing you can do about it. And Melody was fed up. She's done. She will never go back there. She will never go back there. Ever. But he's so delusional. He really believes that there's a chance. He still does. He really believes that he's got a chance. And there really is no chance in hell that she is going to go back there. So he really just needs to hang it up. But listen, guys, I could go on more and more and more. There's definitely more I could say, but I'm just going to leave it there. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. This is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just want to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.